If you're planning a destination wedding at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico or the Caribbean, it can feel really overwhelming at first. So follow along today as I'll be going over the high-level process of how to plan a destination wedding in Mexico or the Caribbean at an all-inclusive resort. I have been planning destination wedding group travel for 10 years now, and what we find is that the process, it keeps repeating itself, somewhat like a mathematical formula. For many couples that came before you, they followed along with this process for a stress-free planning, and you can too. If you are early in your journey of planning a destination wedding, it's a good idea right now to not get caught up in all of these little micro details that happen later on in the process, and to just really try and wrap your head around the bigger picture of what you can expect in the next year or so as you head on your journey to plan your destination wedding. The first step is to find your dream resort or wedding venue. Let me be perfectly honest with you. This step can be the hardest or one of the hardest steps of all for many wedding couples. The good news is once you find the perfect resort for your destination wedding, a lot of the other steps along the way are going to fall into place. Some important considerations at this stage is what is your budget? This is a two-part question with destination weddings because you want to know what is your budget for your wedding package itself for your actual wedding day, and what is your budget for your hotel? What are you looking for in a resort or venue for your destination wedding? What are your must-haves and must-have-nots? This is unique for each wedding couple. If you're having, for example, a beach wedding, you want to make sure that you pick a resort where the beach is appropriate for a beach wedding. If you prefer to have a wedding location that's not on the beach, then you need to find a resort that has an appropriate wedding location, like perhaps a rooftop or a garden. Are children attending your wedding, or will it be adults only? This is an important question because some resorts will only allow adults on the property. Is there a specific location that you're interested in? Is it Mexico as a whole, or is it specifically Cancun, specifically Puerto Vallarta, Los Cabos, and then you can whittle it down even further from there. So learn about the different locations and where you think would be the most viable options for your guests to fly into. How many guests are you planning to invite approximately? Do you have a preferred wedding date or a preferred time of year? If you're flexible on when you can travel for your destination wedding, you might find that certain times of year will offer a more affordable price for your guests to travel in. The next step is to request a room block quote. It is a great idea to partner with a travel agent who specializes in destination weddings. If you don't already have a travel agency, I'm going to link our travel agency below, and so please reach out with any questions. They will be able to guide you in the right direction so that you can make sure that you're picking a resort for your destination wedding that is suitable for all of your needs. They'll also be able to pull group quotes which show the room prices and the promotions that are available for you at various wedding resorts. You also want to make sure that when you proceed with this step, you're making sure to check wedding day availability at the corresponding resort that you're pulling quotes for. Wedding days are not infinitely available, so you need to make sure that that hotel has availability on the desired wedding date and that you're pulling a destination wedding group quote to correspond with that wedding date. Step number 3 is to secure your wedding date and your wedding locations as well. So where on the resort do you want to get married for your ceremony, having your reception, and also your cocktail hour? The next step, at the exact same time that you secure your wedding date, make sure that you secure your room block as well. Secured your room block, the heavy lifting is done, and now you can move on to more of the fun stuff. At this point in time, we highly recommend that you consider how you're going to get all the information about your wedding resort and your plans to have a destination wedding out to your guest list. The most efficient way of doing this is through an e-save the date, which can be sent either by email or by text message, where you would send your wedding website out to all the members on your guest list and ask them to either place their deposit or place their RSVP, whatever the next step for your specific wedding that you want them to take. At this point, your guests will start making deposits on their rooms, putting payments toward their rooms, and your travel agent should be sending your guest list periodically so that you can follow up with the people who you don't see having placed their deposit as of yet. While all of that is happening behind the scenes, you can focus on your wedding day vision, including your vendor selection, who's going to be your photographer, who's going to be your videographer, any big picture ideas, now is a good time to start thinking about that. About 3 to 4 months pre-travel is when we typically see resorts want to collect final payment from your guests. So this just means that your guests need to start to settle up on the final balance of their room, pay off their rooms. It is at this point, 3 to 4 months pre-travel, that you, the wedding couple, will have an accurate guest list. This is super important. You cannot plan the little details of your wedding day if you don't know how many people are committed to attend. So that 3 to 4 months pre-travel is when you get a guest list of committed guests and you can get your final number on how many guests you are expecting to join you on your wedding day. It is at this point that you can start to finesse the little details. So having plate chargers and decorations and all of these little extras are only going to be something that you can really commit to at this point in planning. Many more popular wedding resorts will not even start planning these little details until the 3-month pre-travel mark, because they want to make sure that you have that accurate guest count, and it is around this time that you can really start finalizing the details of your wedding day. As your wedding day approaches, you will take off and land at your wedding resort, and you'll probably be pretty amazed by how much planning actually happens on site. So in the days leading up to your wedding, many resorts will offer a lot of those final details in those days leading up to your wedding. You are there, you can see, taste, smell, everything, and it all comes into place in the days leading up to your wedding. The day arrives and it is amazing. It's exactly how you envisioned it. And all of this planning is worth it in the end. The last step that I wanted to mention, after you've had your wedding, you may or may not be eligible for certain promotions through your group booking through your travel agency. There's a lot of different promotions for different resorts. So this could be complimentary rooms, complimentary functions. These types of things come to fruition alongside your wedding day and make it even more memorable and budget friendly. I hope you find this video helpful. Happy wedding planning!